Hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. I know that Gwynna was MVP and explained why we're running late, so thank you. Portia said that. Gwynna learned that Portia's appellation is how Kelly and Veronica King. Well, that's how Kelly and Veronica King have told me. So Kelly,
it's a different accent than I do.
Yeah. And she's like, it depends on where you're from. And so Kelly, co-creator, co-host of the Writish podcast with me, which is on hiatus because running a company takes more time than I have to give to podcast editing. Even with all the things where it's like, oh, we can remove all the silences now. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't remove enough of the silences. And sometimes you mess up. And then I have to go back and fix it. And I'm just like, Anyway, she was like, yeah, it's appellation. And I'm like, okay, because I started hearing some people on AuthorTube who I guess are from below the Mason.
Yeah, below.
Yeah. And I started having like an identity crisis, being like, is this just like naive Northerner getting it wrong? And like, I don't know.
North or south, you're still Appalachian.
We do throw the apple, and it's funny because me and my husband we're in the Blue Ridge Mountain region now, which is where my maternal grandfather is from, which makes me Appalachian on that side, but I'm Gullah Geechee on my other side. So you can imagine that my accent when I'm not code switching is a very interesting thing.
That sounds like you must have the most interesting conversations. Gullah Geechee plus Appalachian, girl.
Yeah, so it gets real country around here real quick. But the food is delicious.
Yes, it is. I am also from the Blue Ridge Mountains, Portia.
Oh, wonderful.
North Georgia side. Are you?
Oh, North Georgia. I'm on the Virginia side.
Virginia side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, nice.
Look at that.
Small world.
Okay. I know, right? Noise. Said Appalachian. Oh, in PA? Goodness. Zara, I really do love your new intro.
Thanks. Yeah, I remember Veronica was on a live stream. Was it with Portia or someone else? And it was like, we don't care about the Appalachian versus the Appalachian, but we know this one's wrong.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I just thought that was so funny.
Applechins.
Exactly.
Breathe in the rest of the country. You know what I mean? It's a different, I won't say it's a different ethnic group, but it's a different social.
It's a different culture. It's a different culture.
Sure. Appalachia is different than everyone else I've ever met.
It really is. And see, I could tell Eva by that sentence, because if you didn't pronounce it roots, you're not an apple.
What if we just start calling Appalachians that? Are you an apple?
Are you an apple?
Then someone's going to be like, wait, what about the Big Apple, which is New York? It's like, no. I'm asking if you're an apple, not if you're from the Big Apple. There's a distinction.
I was in Virginia when what I found became a part of West Virginia in like the 1860s. Well, they were probably on the correct side of history then.
And that's a proud thing to be because not a lot of Appalachians can say that.
Exactly. They were on the correct side of history. And well, for
Wear
reasons
that badge with pride, unlike the pride that some people have in a flag.
exactly. Now, because then it was like there are some of us who, our families didn't particularly get a choice in that, but
Yeah, it's not like
That part.
us as descendants could send a message through time and be like, don't live here.
right.
There's the peaches, then there's the apples. So to me, I read that and I'm just like, are the peaches just Georgia or does it expand?
I'm a peach and an apple. What's
Yeah.
that song like? Pineapple apple pin, but it's
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I'm not remembering it like exactly. Just Georgia. There was a subscription service. That's how New York I am. Or how metropolitan I am, where it's like you could get like really good peaches from this one company in Georgia. And then they like either stopped doing it or like the quality of the peaches like declined after years. Like something happened. Like I put the pandemic. And it was just like, I want my good peaches, but like it's impossible to get good fresh peaches in New York because it's like they have them at Whole Foods, but we're trying to shop there less. We can't fully cut it out just because of our available options, because what I thought would be a good alternative turns out supports the same administration that Amazon does. So I'm like, and Whole Foods is cheaper than this other option. So I'm like, there are like my 3 alternatives to Whole Foods turns out are all part of the same company that supports. And I'm like, well,
yeah. You're just,
but I don't know where to get good peaches, and it makes me sad because I really like peaches. And peaches, strawberries and blueberries are about the only fruits that I like as fruit, not just like blended in a smoothie or the flavor of.
Now,
like,
have you ever had peach cobbler?
Yes. Yes. Like I want to be able to have a fresh peach. You know what I mean? Like we have peaches that are good enough to like be in a smoothie or, to be altered in some way. But sometimes I just want a fresh peach.
It's nice.
It is.
It's refreshing.
Although in my family, we have the peach versus nectarine debate because my mom and my husband are like nectarine because they have like the sensory issues and they're like the peach and the fuzz and they don't like it. I was like, come on, you can't beat a peach. And they're just
A good peach is better than a good nectarine.
Agreed. But my mom and my husband are like,
it is so much more common to get a bad peach than a good peach. And my chance of getting a good nectarine is higher.
And I told them this, and I was like, I don't think you prefer nectarines. I think that you've had better nectarines than you've had peaches.
Exactly. It's like, do you hate peaches or have you not had the joy of a quality peach?
It's like some people hate tomatoes, but they've never had a good homegrown Southern tomato.
I will say my cousins who live in upstate New York, so very much not Southern, grow great tomatoes as well. And I'm like,
it must be an East Coast thing, like the humidity of the East Coast, because I cannot find a good tomato out here to save my life.
I think it's East Coast. Yeah.
Oh yeah, a good beefsteak tomato, like that makes the best BLT.
I love a good beefsteak tomato. I think those are the best tomatoes, but I will say there are multiple small ones that I will get and literally just snack on them.
Same.
And I love them too, but like I hate when those are used in cooking because then they like the texture. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like them getting soft.
Mm.
If it's a tomato
Same.
slice, I'm like, fine, cool.
But a fresh tomato with a little bit of salt and pepper, you can't beat it.
I know.
Cannot.
So good. Little bit of olive oil too.
Yeah.
Throw some mozzarella, make a caprese.
Caprese is so good. I can't. I'm getting hungry. I ordered a salad. It's on the way, but it's not going to arrive for like another 20 to 30 minutes. So we got to get off food. Gwenna, I'm about to put up your banner, so get ready.
Hi, I'm Gwenna at Gwenna the Winna. I do writing streams and I hop on friends' writing streams. I'm an aspiring hybrid author and current college student in creative writing. Thank you so much for having me here.
And I am Portia. I am the author of Let's try that again. I am Portia. I am the author of Low Bridge High Water, a poetry collection, and I am the purveyor of cat ears and chaos. I do not have my cat ears on, but I will after the first sprint. I will go and get them because I am woefully lacking right now. But I am the purveyor of cat ears and chaos and the words in between.
Love that. Love that. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the founder of Inimitable Books, a small publishing company dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices without pigeonholing authors into writing trauma. Diversity to us is more than just skin color or visible things. And we believe that people should be able to tell their stories without having to traumatize themselves or relive their trauma or exploit it. But our first book coming out 2026, coming out February 17th, the author chose to explore her trauma. Grandma's Old Secret, inspired by true events. One girl's life is changed forever when she foils a murder and becomes a target herself. Another author who decided to definitely dive into trauma, Chandra Arthur, with her book Mother Mercy. Think Female Dexter, coming out March 31st. It's a doozy. I love it so much, especially if you've paid a little bit too much attention to the news cycle. Any attention to the news cycle, some catharsis. And then coming out April 21st, we have Thanks for Watching by Kate Kavanaugh. Really, I was going to say really rich. They're not all necessarily super rich, but like influencers who are bad people get things coming to them. So again, news cycle, like catharsis. This one is, Stranger Things vibes, also just 80s nostalgia in general. And then, for the family secrets and the domestic drama of it all, think Sharp Objects or Big Little Lies. So really, really great story. It has some horror elements, but we just went with that on the cover so that thriller readers wouldn't be like, wait, hold on, I don't normally get the paranormal and the horror stuff in my thrillers, but it's not predominantly. I mean, it's terrifying, especially knowing that it was real, but like it was, it's not all horror. But yeah, talking about real people fictionalized behaving badly, talking about fictional people behaving badly, but we now know that real people did it too. I mean, we already knew real people did it as well, but and then kind of same boat. So you really should be pre-ordering these thrillers.
I love it. Great pitch. 10 out of 10.
Yes. 10 out
You're
of 10.
like, no. I thought I emailed you them. Also, you're like crazy busy, so maybe that's also part of it. Fried green tomatoes, yeah, the movie, and also just I'm so hungry. Okay, we gotta move on. Forward room code for the first room. Riley, I believe, is sleeping on the couch next to my mom, so I'm not going to disturb her. But let me invite myself to the room first, and then that way not everyone's waiting for me to enter the code. Oof, I'm boiling. I got to take off my underlayer. It's too hot. And by that, I think it's like 15 degrees outside instead of 9. Bravo, 6. Quebec, Romeo, 9, 6. Sierra Golf. I should have said 9er. My bad. But it's up on screen, and I'm going to see what the weather is. Oh my God, it's 28 degrees. And it feels like 38.
That sounds like hell.
That's heaven compared to what we've been having.
It's in the 80s this week in Phoenix.
Man, I'll be right back.
How are you, Portia?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I have to do homework today, and I don't want to do it. I'm at the fun part of the book, and I really want to keep writing, and it's all I want to do. And I've gotten 10,000 words over the past 2 days, and now I have to like switch boats entirely and do homework.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, but in the grand scheme of things, and then you'll be able to say you have a degree in this thing that you already were wonderful at. So even though we know
I know that's the thing. I have to get this bachelor's out of the way so I can go for a master's, and the master's will be fun.
yes,
Just don't go for a PhD in this climate.
No, I will not. I will not. That sounds useless. I'm going to go for an MFA.
No, I say this as a joke, but also not really, because there's a PhD on screen, isn't there?
No, sorry, Portia. It does sound useless right now.
I don't have a PhD. I have a PhD. I do not.
I thought you did.
Why did we both think you did?
I mean, thank you, I think, but absolutely not. I always wanted one, maybe because I was talking about, I have a lot of friends that have PhDs in English. Like a lot of my peers have PhDs. I do not.
No, but I swear to God, I thought you did. My lunch is here.
No, because when you were like PhD, I thought you were talking about Regina.
We both
And I was like, on screen, I'm like,
2 of us on screen thought the third person had a PhD, and she's like, I know Regina has one, but I thought you did too, Portia.
I mean, not my Portia. I was just like, of course Portia has a PhD. She's an educated woman.
I just assumed it. I swear that you had said it, and clearly you did not. But
I do not. Thank you, I think. I mean, that's a high compliment, but absolutely not. So I am starting to, I was telling my husband back like 6 months ago, I was like, I'm starting to keep notes of what of things that people tell me about myself that I don't know, because other people tell me the most interesting thing. Like I am 100% a more interesting person based on what other people think is true about me, because like I was at a conference.
But like I don't know stuff about people. So the fact that Gwen and I were both like 100% convinced. Where did all this from? Did someone tell me that did someone wrongly found? Like I don't know what happened.
And it's funny because before my mom like redesigned this room, my undergrad degree was up. So I was like, did they see that in the background and think that was like a doctorate? Because no.
I mean, my undergraduate's right there. My master's in my apartment. But I have my undergraduate because I got honors. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna show that off. But
and
I don't see a diploma and assume it's any level. I'm just like it's a diploma. Good for them. And I don't have any judgment of like, if someone was like, oh, it's just an undergrad. I'd be like, great. I almost didn't want to finish undergrad.
I didn't finish undergrad the first time through.
Yeah. You know, I have no judgment. And I also don't make it I don't know. Whatever.
But I love this. I'm gonna have to go tell Edward, be like, people think I have a PhD. Like, isn't that cool? Like, I
The word on the
don't.
street is Portia's PhD, is what it is.
Exactly.
What
So,
kind of salad did you get, Zara?
Um, it's a sweet green crispy rice bowl, but normally that would come with nuts. Two types of nuts that would kill me, so obviously I swapped those out.
oh,
And instead of almonds, I got sweet potato, and instead of their cashew dressing, I got balsamic vinaigrette. And I know how to open these. Why is this not opening? There we go. So it has wild rice, crispy rice, arugula. I also added tomato and portobello mushrooms.
ooh, that sounds really good.
And it's like really filling. So that's why I love sweet green things, because I'm like, I can eat this and I won't be hungry for like 3 hours.
Yes, they're really good. I would love some kava right now because as soon as you said sweet potatoes, they have the best sweet potatoes at kava. I really like the lamb meatball and sweet potato bowl with the mixed greens.
I also got rosemary focaccia because I had enough points to get it for free. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have like a $3 focaccia for free.
God, I want some
Nice.
focaccia now.
Okay, let's start the spring because I want to eat, and I'm sure people want to figure out their own food and also do other things.
Wait, don't forget to change the timer. It
Yeah,
says 10 minutes.
I won't. Thank you. But also, I mean, the reminder is always appreciated. That's what I was trying to say. And then Veronica had asked what we're working on. So we'll give that update in after.
Yes.
You know what? It would help if I had the timer up, wouldn't it? That would be helpful to run a sprint. Okay, share the screen. There we go. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I could not finish it in a single sprint because it's so filling. So I will also be eating this during the next sprint as I actually work. But during the first sprint, I did nothing but eat.
I reviewed some of my grades, and last week I noticed one of my English professor took 5 points off an assignment for my citations. And
how did you cite?
I cited APA, but he thought it was MLA. He didn't specify which one he wanted us to do, so I did APA.
Okay, but English is normally MLA, just so you know going forward.
I'm aware of that, but he said choose your favorite, and I chose my favorite. I prefer it.
Well, if he said choose your favorite, then he should be able to recognize between them.
And here's the thing. He's like, I took some off for citations, see my notes on like the grading website. So I went in on the grading website, and he had made a single note, and it was nowhere near any citations. He hadn't mentioned them at all or done anything about that. So I sent him an email. I was like, hey, you took points off from my citations, but you didn't notate my citations on the grading. Can you tell me what was wrong with them? And he said a lot of nonsense where I can tell he's a nervous typer. And then I saw that he had updated the grading website. So I went in, and he had gone through and justified where he had taken off from my citations. And fair, apparently in APA, when you're stating the title of something, you don't need to capitalize every word. I'm sorry that our library source automatically did that when it generated this citation. I'm not sure that was worth 6 points off of my perfect score in this class, but here we are.
Okay, A, that wasn't worth that. B, what citation generator are you using? Because
I'm using the library citation generator provided by the school. Like it's the school online library website.
Easy bib.
And I was literally like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this old school way. So for that entire
Easy bib, or there was one other one called like it had the word note in it, but I can't remember. But
I know
like,
which ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know APA citation. I just didn't think that he was going to take off for fucking capitalizing every word. So what I did was I pulled up the APA style guide, and now I'm going above and beyond the standard for the APA style guide and following it to a T. So that's what I did. I formatted my paper, and I got my references together for this paper that I have to write on the next one. And I will make sure not to capitalize every word in the titles of these citations at the bottom.
That's such a bizarre thing to take that many points off, especially if
you would think it would be like 2 points or something because it's a consistent error.
Yeah. So if it's like, if I'm grading, I mean, and Lord knows I've never been a college professor, doesn't have a PhD, but when I tutored English, if I see something that's a consistent error, then it's like, oh, okay, then clearly this person thinks they're doing the right thing. So I usually am like, oh, as an aside, this, how you did this thing here, that's not how we do that. And usually the first time I don't even take a point off. I mean, that was high school, that was different. But it's usually just, I'm seeing that this is how you're doing this. Don't do it that way. And then they're like, okay.
Listen, I get it. He couldn't find anything else wrong with any of the work I've ever submitted. He had to get me off for something. Yeah.
That's it's not like it's math where it's like at every single step you could make an error. Like this is clearly one error throughout.
He's not all there as a professor, and I can tell that from all the other things. Like his comments are kind of half-assed, and the online, you know how they post announcements? Like
why is he still teaching if he clearly does not?
Yeah, he's not all there. He's not the best professor I've experienced. He's probably the worst professor I've experienced at SNHU. But you know what?
Do you ever have to take him again?
Past. I'll give him that. At least he knows the differences between reference styles. I don't know. I got in my feelings about it, and then I worked through my feelings about it, and now we're going to be a little bit petty, and that's how that's going to go. What about you, Portia? What did you do that spring?
Well, I'm at my parents' house. I picked up my mom's coffee that got dropped off because we occasionally have porch pirates. So when a package comes, we try to coordinate so somebody's here. Um, because the uh, coffee pots, they come in a box, like the outside box says Keurig and it has coffee beans on, like it kind of tells you what's in there. So I had to dash down and grab it before before somebody saw it. And then other than that, I was finding my ears. Thanks for reminding me, Gwenna. And
You're not
getting
Portia
ready to
ears.
yes, getting ready to write to Dinez's prompt because I am in Dinez's 28-day. They don't all have to be poems. It's a 28-day writing challenge that Dinez Smith is doing, and my flabbers are gasted because I was a huge Dinez Smith fan, and then he was faculty at the Watering Hole, and now I actually know him, and he like follows me back on socials and will tag me and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, like I know this person that has a bunch of awards and stuff. Like it's crazy because I'm like getting to that place where it's like I am peers with people that I used to just like read their books and be like, so yeah, it's a weird feeling. But I do not have a PhD. I'm gonna have to which is funny because I was telling somebody else, I'm like, the weird part of this is getting to a point in my career where I am considered mid-career writer because then like emerging writing stuff, like I can't, it's not, there is no shouldn't, but I can't do that stuff. But then the stuff of people that you've heard of, I'm not that advanced yet. So I'm in that weird pool of like, I'm not emerging, but thank you, Regina. I will share your PhD. It's like, I'll take the H. It's okay. I'll take the lowercase letter. um, but yeah, so it's getting ready to write this thing for this writing challenge because I have not posted any of my entries. So I'm going to try to post what I write today.
What about you, Zara?
I mean, during that sprint, I think I had said that I just ate. But maybe that was in my head. I don't know. It's been a weird day for me because I stayed up late last night and then like I have a to-do list, but like none of it is like it must be done today. So my brain is like, what do you have to do today? It's weird. I will be working during the next sprint though.
Regina, that's going in the bio on my website. Portia has done enough. I've done
That's
enough.
adorable. Portia has done enough. Sorry, I'm copying and pasting these access links over. If I seem distracted, it is because my brain does not want to stop.
No, that's fine.
But I did it. Okay. Huzzah.
Woo.
Reference page is done. You okay, Zara?
Yeah, it's this form that I've submitted. It keeps every time I'm like, okay, I'm done. It takes me back to the beginning. And I'm like, you're not marking any errors. What's happening? So I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Like Groundhog Day. I need to figure out what price to set for this audiobook.
$1,002.
That would be the audiobook.
It's $3,500.
Please and thank you.
You can pay by cash or card. Checks are not accepted.
Yeah.
It's so funny because there was this book, and I don't even remember what the book was, but they were having a charity thing, and it was something I got the email for that I knew of the people, and they were like, oh, because it was a book I had been looking at, and they were like, we have these specially covered signed copies, and they're like, it's for charity. And so I was like, okay, they'll mark it up a little bit. I was like, it's charity, and they were just like, we're starting at $750. And I was like, oh, no. No.
You're like, it might be for charity, but I don't have that money.
Because I was like, it's a book, and it's, and it has
Unless it's first edition, first print, signed by the author, and it's like a famous book.
And it was signed by the author, but it is not famous. It's a very niche topic. So I was like, this does not have like the amount of appeal to warrant.
To command that price? No.
Yeah.
Look who
it's signed by the author. Thank you. But I was like, for charity, I thought 75, maybe 100. I was like, okay, it's for charity.
Even 200, I'd be like, that's a bit steep for me personally, but like, I can
exactly like even that. Even 200 is not outside of the realm of. I'm like, it's a little rich for my blood, but okay, I can see.
Exactly. It. Yeah, you're like, I don't know if I can do that, but
right. Okay, 750. I absolutely cannot do.
Did you just eat? No, you just had it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna set up the next forest room. Hi, Michael. The Portia has done enough. I still can't get over it. That was really good, Regina.
It's 10 out of 10, Regina. You did a good job.
It is. Hey, Michael, old friend. And that is not me calling you old. That's just...
I mean, if you're really good friends, you're like, yeah, that was me calling you old.
Yes.
Okay, forest room code is 6 Sierra 767 Hotel Foxtrot Sierra Golf. HF and SG are initials of family members of mine. Michael's comment's funny. Can you be more specific?
Partially because I did call Michael old because he was in his 40s, and then a weird thing happened. I turned 40, and now I'm like, oh, no, we don't do that. Like, that is not old. You're in the prime of your life. Yeah, that's the ticket, the prime.
My birthday is in March, and I'll be turning 29.
Oh my gosh. Like, oh.
But I feel like I've been 30 for like 5 years, so.
I get that. 29. You've done a lot. You've done a lot to still be in your 20s. Like you've accomplished a lot. No, Zara has done enough. Like me, no. Zara has done enough.
Nah, I still have so much more I want to do. I would get so bored. If someone was like, here's a ton of money and you can retire, I'd be like, is that conditional? Or like, can I take this gift of money and keep working?
Fair. Like, and I just love how assured you are in what you know, because I think at 29 I knew some stuff, but I didn't have the assurance in that, yeah, I know what I do know when I was 29.
Sarah?
What?
Are you 29?
I'm turning 29 in March.
I was about to say, I could have sworn you were at least more than a year younger than me.
Yeah, I'm still 28.
Yeah.
I think you just missed me say I'm turning 29, and then everyone in the comments is saying 29.
I did miss that. I am being petty right now, so
it's okay. I support you. I think if I hadn't seen as many people as I have who are in jobs that are, if I hadn't made my own company, would be much more senior than me, not knowing how to do basic things, I would have more imposter syndrome. But I'm like, I can do this better. Like what I know, I'm like, I can do. Do I know there are a ton of things I don't know? Yes. Am I trying to learn them? Also, yes. So like, I'm not sitting on my laurels, but there are certain people who I was just like, you don't know what track changes are and you work in publishing?
They don't know.
Absolutely. I will say my first professional writing job was in tech writing when I was 19, and it horrified me the amount that people didn't know as professional writers that were twice my age. And I walked in there thinking, I'm still in college. I was 19, I was still in college. I'm going in thinking,
I don't know anything. They're going to teach me everything. This is
right. They're going to teach me everything. And I was, like, oh.
And I will have nothing to teach them, but I will be a sponge and I will learn it all.
And that's exactly how I was going to walk into this job. And I got there and I was disavowed of that very quickly. Getting there, I was like, oh, okay. Oh. Because at first I was like, but that's the weird job. I'm not going to get into that because that's kind of a long story. You all know the weird job where we had all kinds of things happening. I actually fictionalized that job in a short story, and nobody believed that could be based in fact. I was like, actually, it's based on a job I had. And they were like, no. They were like, that's unbelievable. That really happened. And I was like, yes, I've had a number of weird jobs. But yeah, most of the weirdness that I talk about is from this one particular, my first full-time job as a writer. When I was there from 19 to 21. And those people were an interesting lot.
Your age, not 2019 through 2021.
No. From ages 19 to 21. And then I went and actually briefly worked for a publishing company, which was also a crazy experience. And then I've had a bunch of jobs. Maybe Portia has also done enough.
My first job that was not an internship, I was just like, this is so inefficient. What are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the New York office on board, and then the lead literary agent who was in the headquarters in California, apparently got so threatened by me that like she just had me fired. And I'm like,
well, that was
like, y'all were really toxic, so I wanted to leave, but I was holding on for the insurance.
That happened to me at a temp job. I had a temp job as a video editor, and the person I was supposed to be helping I was way too efficient, and then when she came back from vacation, she had me fired. And I was only upset because I'd accidentally left my jacket and an umbrella there. And I was like, I don't care about the job. I really liked that jacket.
And you couldn't get it back.
And I couldn't get it back. I mean, it would have been like hoops, and then they're like, "Can we just send it to you in the mail?"
But it was your property. They should have sent it to you.
They were like, "We can send it in the mail," and then by then I was just like, "Forget it." It was a
Oh,
lot.
I would have said, "Yeah, you pop that baby in the mail. That's my jacket."
And that, Zara, is why they were threatened by you. She knows her rights, and she's not fucking around.
Yeah, the person I am now, absolutely.
A family of lawyers.
Yeah.
And I document everything. And I have a family member who's like, young people document too much. And I'm like, no, we just know that we've been gaslit by older generations our entire lives. So we come with receipts.
As you should.
Exactly.
Yeah. No one's going to tell me I'm documenting too much stuff.
No, because if people have an issue with you documenting, that's the first sign that they're kind of shady. Because we love good documentation.
Period. Also, my grandma documented everything. She dated every single thing in her home. I mean, not like a porcelain vase or something, but actually, she might have dated those underneath. I don't know. I was really young. I was told not to touch the shelf. You know, like you don't want to break something. And then we gave basically all of them away when she passed away because no one, the people who lived in New York were like, where are we going to put it? We live in apartments. We don't have that space. But yeah, I'm like, how are you related to my grandma by blood and you think that I'm documenting too much when she did what I did and more? Like, no.
And I love like the old school before computers when people actually sat down and like hand wrote and were like, no. Like, here's what happened. And those were like, as a journal keeper, those were like real, not that we're not real journal keepers, but they were like.
No, but like they actually journal. Whereas to me, my journal is like, here's my to-do list and here's a really good thing that happened to me or here's a really sucky thing that happened. There's like no in between. It's not just like, here's a chronicle. It's like highlights and lowlights.
Right. And I try to chronicle pretty well because I do in my written journals and then in my junk journals, I have like all the receipts and pictures and photos and stuff. Like you can pretty reasonably follow my adult life from my journals. Like I give a good amount of detail. I should have those burned when I die. And
I think my bullet journal goes as far back as me being in college, but I don't even know that it's my freshman year. And there was a whole to-do about a cousin's set of journals when she passed away. Someone wanted to read them and we were all like, no. You don't no. No. This is not like 50 years in the future and we just never knew where they were and then someone like discovers like, oh, was related to someone famous and so let's see what their like relative said.
Right.
This is like 2 years after they no. And so no. We did something else with them. But it was just like
that's
audacity.
I have had two bad experiences, one in my formative youth and one in my adult life, where people I have trusted, like very close, I would trust them with my life, have read my journals and then utilized what was in there to blackmail me. And so I no longer journal. I just can't bring myself to do it. Every time I start to write something down, I'm like, oh, nope, this doesn't feel safe for me anymore.
I hate that they ruined that for you.
Yeah. Yep. That's so if my daughter ever journals, they will be safe with me.
Yeah, I never worried that my mom read my diary. I mean, she knew where the key was, but like I was never like, I'm writing something secret. And also I didn't care.
Yeah. That is awful. I feel really bad about that one. It's common. Like I see people, online and on Reddit and stuff talk about how and I was like, that is just such a deep betrayal because I've always been a journaler. As a matter of fact, my mom found one of my old journals in the basement. They were cleaning out the basement. She handed it to me. She was like, "Oh, I found one of yours," and you can tell by the colors that it's mine because it's purple and it's glittery. And she just handed it to me, and, and she's just like, she didn't even look at it, and it was from like 2002, and I was like, "Oh, this is the first time I was on a plane, and I have little postcards because I did my high school study abroad in
That's
Mexico." And I was like, "Oh,
cute. I love that.
That's
so." Like I have stuff like that, but even that, I told her, I was like, "Oh, do you want to see?" I was like, "This is just from my first study abroad in Mexico, and I have little postcards." She's like, "No, that's for you. That's yours." Like that's important for people to feel safe that they can do that, that they can
I'll keep
have
the
that.
second person secret, but the first one to do it was my mother. And so,
Oh,
yeah, big
That's
betrayal
rough.
there.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and yeah,
Trauma dumping. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to kill the tone. So
no,
No,
it didn't kill the
no.
tone. It was like, yeah, I mean, like if I'm venting, like I don't want that necessarily to be like read to the whole family. If I'm like, I'm really pissed at this person because they did something that hurt my feelings. But like at the same time, if my journals were made public, like nothing embarrassing is in there. It's more just like the principle of like my privacy should have been respected type of thing. It's not actually I'm hiding something, but like it doesn't matter like if you're hiding something or not. Privacy is privacy, or it should be,
it should be. Yeah, I think that's
Absolutely.
probably why I take my daughter's privacy so seriously, both by committing to saying stuff like, "Oh no, if she ever journals, I will respect that." But also keeping her face private and not posting her on socials.
Yeah. Oh,
all.
especially with AI and all the crazy stuff they're doing.
Yeah,
Illegal stuff.
like-
Illegal stuff.
Just like she has a right to her own thoughts, she should have a right to her own image.
Was it Denmark who did that?
I don't know. I know they have laws about it in both France and Germany, though, that you're not allowed to post your children.
No. There's one, though, where it's like you own the copyright to your likeness.
Oh.
And that if AI uses it, like they're infringing on your copyright and you could, yeah. Thank you, Regina.
Did Regina find it before I did?
Yes, Denmark. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I'd heard something about that. That's really cool because I know I'm a full grown person and sometimes I want to take certain things, and I know the internet is forever. Not anything like detrimental, but sometimes I'll look back and be like, do I really want that particular picture? But it's not anything like, oh my God, like I don't have clothes on or anything. It's just like, yeah. It was the early 2000s. I thought that picture was cute. In hindsight, not so much.
I mean, if I went back to my if I actually cared to go back to my Facebook and like actually delete it instead of just like let it languish like I do, I'd probably see that like I was excited for the final Harry Potter book to come out because at the time I had no idea what a bad person she was. Or like, oh, I saw the last movie, the part 2,
Exactly.
had no idea what a bad person, and so, I might have posted years and years ago about like, oh my God, I saw the Coraline movie. It was the first movie I wasn't scared of. That's so exciting, not knowing that like Neil Gaiman's, what I mean?
Zara, Facebook recently got rid of and I think Eva could tell you more about this, but Facebook recently got rid of their minimum follower count in order to start generating profit. And if you go into their creator program on Facebook, you can lock all previous posts on your page. Like you can make them so that while they aren't deleted, you can see them and no one else can see them. So if you cross post what you're uploading from YouTube to Facebook, you could probably make some good money there, babe.
Okay.
Eva can tell you more about that.
Yeah. Eva, hit me up on Instagram. Probably the way. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Did not know about that. We'll look into it.
That way you make more money.
Yes. But let's start the next sprint. 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone.
That went fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did everyone do?
I got my thesis statement and intro paragraph written, and I'm going back over my outline. And I think on the next sprint, I will have gotten at least through the majority, the bulk of the essay.
Nice.
First draft of the final paper, talking about how book bans exacerbate the illiteracy crisis and feed into the school to prison pipeline, perpetuating modern cycles of oppression.
Nice.
It's a fun topic.
Yeah, definitely.
Once I got over my feelings about the professor, it became a lot easier to focus.
Yeah. So I grabbed food after weighing if I wanted to order something or if I wanted to throw together a hodgepodge of leftovers. And then I did leftovers because I am frugal. And
I love leftovers. We just didn't have any leftovers, and I was like, I don't have the energy to cook right now. So
yeah, fair.
that's
Very
why I
fair.
ordered in my lunch, which means I probably like won't be hungry until like 7 p.m. tonight at the earliest. You know.
Yeah. But
And
it
then
made me want a salad. That's where that frame of thought came from. I was like, I have these leftovers. But I was like, sweet green does sound really good right now. So it was a whole thing. I was like, do I want a salad? I'd like a salad. Maybe for dinner. I might order a salad for dinner.
yeah. I haven't had Gatorade in so long. Now I won't.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them, and I like these because they're little. They're the zero sugar ones, but they're little because I know sometimes it's like I want a little bit, but I don't want like a whole thing.
What's a zebra cake?
Oh, the little black and white cake. Oh, they still make those. I haven't seen one of those in years. They're little snack cakes, but they're black and white. Gosh, I have not seen one of those since we had a Hostess factory that I don't know if it went out of business or whatever, but we used to have a Hostess factory in DC. They had all kinds of stuff. It's probably uh no, we had Little Debbie stuff at it was a Hostess factory, but they had Little Debbie stuff as well at the Hostess factory. So it might be Little Debbie. Yeah. So I remember we used to go there and because it was a factory, but you could buy they had a storefront you could buy things. And I am sure that was at least 75% of the childhood obesity in my neighborhood was that we had an actual Hostess factory that you could get discount stuff.
Little
Because
Debbie,
it was
they're saying that these are zebra cakes, but it looks like a completely white cake with just stripes in the frosting. But then the internet said that an actual zebra cake is supposed to have stripes in the cake itself because it's layered. And that makes more sense to me.
yes.
I don't know. Anyway, for some
I don't know much about zebra,
not
but I
knowing
do
a
know.
you go.
I'm so sorry for speaking over you. That's my third time speaking over you on this stream, Zara.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I think there might be a
I was gonna
delay.
say, yeah, no, I went through and I closed out a bunch of my tabs, so hopefully that delay. I don't know much about zebra cakes, but I know I'm a slut for a honey bun. Now you give me a Little Debbie honey bun, and we're going wild. All right, we're going hog wild.
Okay, so according to Eva, the zebra cakes that she's talking about are literally just the frosting part. But when I looked it up, it was like, no, the zebra cake is like you have chocolate, vanilla, chocolate, vanilla, chocolate, vanilla layers so that when you cut into it, you get zebra stripes.
No, I think that's like when people make homemade zebra cakes, but like the ones from the store, the little ones,
Okay,
they're just
those
like
are
these.
okay.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never had a honey bun either. I don't think I've ever a cake from a baker. Okay. No, I've never had either version of a zebra cake. I was just saying what the internet brand name. Okay. I was just
can't
saying what the
believe you've
internet
never
showed me because I never ate little Debbie's, I don't think. Or like those. I had Twinkies. Like I used to eat those growing up. But I don't
You've had
have had
Twinkies, but not
anything
a
else in
honey
that
bun?
realm. Like I didn't really eat packaged cakes or
Wow.
bakery stuff. I didn't really go to the only bakery I cared about was one on the corner or like a block away from my ballet school, and it had this burnt butter frosting on cupcakes, and it was amazing. And then the owners of that, they were a married couple. They got divorced, and it was a fight over who got that recipe. And then the one that got it opened their own place, had it, and then their place closed. So now I can't have my favorite thing anymore. But I just really didn't care about baked goods growing up, really. Because I think also a lot of people in my family, like they all love chocolate cake and I don't. So I was just like, I don't really care. Like I like chocolate ice cream and I like chocolate and I like hot chocolate, but I don't like chocolate cake unless it's a volcano cake. I don't know what it is.
Fair. I used to when I was really young, I didn't like icing. So my family would get a birthday cake and I would blow out the candles on the cake, but then they would make me like a small cake with no, like just a homemade cake with no frosting because I didn't like the icing part. So now, even to this day, I prefer like a box cake for my birthday. And people are just like, oh, they're just like, you know. So I remember when my mom was making enough money and she would like get me these like regular cakes, like you know, could get me a cake. And I finally told this was like 5 years ago, and I was like, I mean, I really appreciate it. I understand it. You know, you got too busy with work to like be able to bake me a cake. But I was like, I really love those like homemade box cakes. And she was like, I thought I was doing something better. She was like, I thought you would prefer like an actual cake from a place. And I was like, no, I just really like a box
Yeah,
cake.
I mean, you don't know. You don't know. Regina, I did not have these allergies when I was younger. So I probably could have been aware of them, but I think the thing is that my mom didn't want me being exposed to them. There was definitely
Yeah.
a store near where I grew up for most of my childhood. Like I lived in one place that like I have some memories from, but not a ton. And then we moved to a place where I was for like 11 years, and then we've moved, and then my mom has lived here for over a decade, and I was living with her for a long time, moved out, and then moved back in. I think Riley's gonna go. I need to replace.
I was gonna say, Portia, it seems like our socioeconomic group was showing there with our love of Little Debbie's.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Because I really
country. We love our Little Debbie's.
we love our little Debbie, and I think it's because our socioeconomic, and it's just more accessible because Zara is in New York, where they have, you know, a really like a bakery culture,
They do.
whereas we had Dollar General and the Hostess Factory, and
yeah,
I think my mom just didn't want me exposed to these things because, like I was only allowed to like have a Twinkie like 4 times a year if I wanted.
Wow. My mom, I wasn't allowed. My mom, I was on school lunches most of my life because they were free. But when my mom finally made enough money that they were no longer free, she made me pack my own lunches. And she would get me anything I wanted. So if I was like, Mom, I want to eat nothing but a whole 12 pack of honey buns tomorrow, she'd just buy me a box of honey buns and be like, make it last the week. Pack yourself a sandwich. And I was like, okay. So I would just, like, for most of my high school life, I survived off of Little Debbie's and PB&J's.
I mean, in high school, I went through a period where I would basically, all I wanted was like turkey rolled around slices of cheese. Like, so, like, it wasn't expensive, and it could have lasted me a
You've been
while.
a hungry girl your whole life.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. It says the food I consume, and you don't know the names of them. Like, what's an example? I don't even know what I say. Like, I mean, we were talking about peaches, which we all know. We were talking about tangerines earlier.
A burnt butter.
I think we all know what Gatorade is.
A burnt butter cupcake? I've never had one.
No. Okay, well, that's special. And, like, no one else knows it either because none of us know the freaking recipe. Oh, my God. That was, like, so special. And, I hold it near and dear to my heart. And I know that I will never taste it again because I tried making a recipe online that claimed to be it. And I'm like, the lies. I have been sold.
But I think some of it is, and I can't speak for Gwen or anybody else, some of us, and I know it's not specific to Appalachia, but a lot of us that grew up in food deserts, you know, the culture kind of develops around an unavailability of certain foods. So, like, fresh fruit was a lot harder for us to get, especially when I was younger, because DC doesn't have, better now because gentrification, but DC actually does not have a lot of grocery stores, which has gotten some better in the last 10 years. But so I grew up kind of in a food desert. So, I mean, my mom did her best to, and then, I got older, my mom, got a car and stuff like that. And we were able to go to better grocery stores. But fresh produce was harder to get. So that kind of influenced how I ate growing up. Because, the packaged stuff was easier to get. It was more accessible. So,
I remember not having fresh fruit. I remember my first time eating a real apple and not like apples out of a jar. I was like 7 or 8 years old.
I'm like, wait, what's the alternative? Like, I'm like, they have GMO. They have like completely fake apples that like I haven't heard of.
Yeah, I remember
in a jar. It initially was real, right? Like
initially, yeah. But I would normally eat them like out of cans, like canned peaches,
canned fruit,
apples. And I remember being like 7 or 8 years old, and I was on a Boys and Girls Club field trip. And on the field trip, they provided us packed lunches, and it came with an apple. And I remember eating it and being like, "Oh my God, this tastes so different from in a can. This is crazy. This is what fresh fruit is."
Yeah, you should do that, Eva. No,
you should.
I know that like I have been very fortunate with food access and things like that, but I was just like, I don't know what a zebra cake is.
I don't know. I think of
and then the internet was telling me two different things, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be thinking of?
Like, I think of New York and I'm like, oh, there's a bakery on every corner. And, you walk down the street and there's like the food vendor selling fresh fruit on the street. You know what I mean?
That's called bullshit on that, but that's actually, there is someone who does that on my mom's blog. So I was like, I can't say that. The grocery store, more and more of them close every year.
Right.
I was like, if I lived in New York, I would never eat a fucking canned apple in my life. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Happy birthday to Eva's mom as well.
Yes, happy birthday to Eva's mom.
And I realized I didn't say it. Yes, that was my.
But it's also funny because I think food is a really important part of culture. And like I tell people, I was like, because Edward is from New Jersey, right? So he came here for college and stayed, but he's from New Jersey. So even though he's lived in the DC area for like well over 20 years, there's still stuff that I'm like, you're not from here. You don't really get that. I was like, you've been here a long time, but you're not like, you're a Yankee. I was like, I get it. Because like for him, when you talk about like sweets or, desserts and stuff, and he's like, oh, well, like a cannoli or like something from it, because he had a lot of bakeries like growing up. And I was like, we didn't really have that. Like we had the corner store and we had the Hostess Factory. So he's just like, yeah. So he's like, grew up on a certain kind of food, and I always tease him.
I like will try anything once, but there are certain things that I think that like in New York are plentiful, like cannolis, bakeries, and things like that. But because
Yeah.
like I really only like certain desserts. Oop, Gwenna,
Ooh.
hope she'll be back. Like to me, going into a bakery, unless it's a place where I know I can get a cupcake that I like, I now like Magnolia Bakery, and I don't go there that often. I really only get it if like I get it on publication days and I get it on my birthday, because I don't like normal cake compared to a cupcake portion size and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of things lost on me that a lot of people would be like, oh my God, if I had access to this stuff, I'd go all the time. But also my mom was very much like, not that she wouldn't let me have food, but the unhealthy things, she'd be like, no, like I'll like have this snack instead type of thing. And even though like, yeah, we could have gone into any corner store and bought Hostess stuff. It's not like they don't sell that in New York. It's just my mom was very much like, no, we don't do that.
Right.
You don't do that.
No.
Maybe she did growing up. I think she did. But
that's actually really cool, because I know for me and my mom kind of going on a journey of health later in life, it's a lot harder as an adult to change your eating habits when you grew up with certain types of food. Hey, Nia. So, I mean, I kind of sometimes I'm like, there's a slight bit of envy for people that kind of were able to grow up in a way where they,
I mean,
have certain boundaries around certain things.
I then had to completely change how I eat because all my health things and like allergies. So like,
right.
But yeah, I'm very lucky with how I grew up, and I hate when there are times where I'm like, do I just sound really privileged? Do I like sound really out of touch?
No, not to me at all. It's just different people grow up different ways, and but you don't, to me, not at all. It's just a difference,
Yeah.
we
I
all
mean,
have,
when I went to visit Veronica King and like she made Appalachian recipes for me, she's like, oh, well, it's not going to be like it's in New York. And I'm like, is it good food? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, is it anything that's going to kill me? She's like, of course not. And I'm like, great. Then good. Like, and it was good food. And that's all I cared about. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm like, I will eat from the cheapest takeout place. Like, it's not like, oh, I needed to have the New York price tag. I'm just like, is it good food? And as long as I don't get food poisoning, I call it a win.
Oh, absolutely. But it's just you never come across as like out of touch or privileged. We just all kind of had different experiences growing up, and I think sometimes where you grow up makes a difference, because with me growing up in DC, it was like, yeah, I grew up in a food desert, but I also didn't grow up with a lot of land to like plant anything. So my grandma had stuff that she grew in the apartment, but I grew up in apartments, so we also weren't growing our own food. So then I didn't have that experience either. So I had, regional stuff is different, and when you grow up is different, and you're also a lot younger, and people knew more about eating better than when I was a kid in the 80s, and it was like, good luck everybody else. It was the 80s.
I'm here. I just think Riley is asking me to take her out for a walk.
Hi, Riley.
So I need to share the forest room code so that we can enter it.
Okay.
And no, Riley, you may not eat my grilled chicken in my salad. It is covered in balsamic vinaigrette, and you have a more sensitive tummy than even I do, which says something.
I was gonna say the 80s might have been wild, but in the 90s we had purple ketchup.
Oh, I ate it. I'm sure that changed our DNA somehow. I don't know what we were doing. Okay. Creating the forest room. Hey, Riley. My mom's out for a bit, so she's stuck with me. Okay, forest room code is just a second. I only have one arm to work with. 6 November Kilo Romeo Charlie. Oh, I didn't mess that up. That's nice. I swore I had made a typo, but I did. Romeo 3 Sierra Golf. It's going to be up on screen in a moment.
Piggly Wiggly is such a throwback, Eva. Food stamps at the Piggly Wiggly. Man, that was wild times.
Yeah, when my aunt briefly moved to Georgia with her husband and they had Piggly Wiggly because we didn't have that in DC. She sent back labels from the food that had the Piggly Wiggly on it, and we were all really excited because
I love that name. Like, I feel like in New York we don't have fun names for stores. They're like all like family names to be like, oh, look at us, we're so elevated. And I'm like, okay, but like Piggly Wiggly sounds fun.
It does, and we didn't have it. Like, DC is a weird place to grow up because we didn't have. They're getting things now that are like chains. But I mean, and we had a few grocery stores, but we didn't have chain things in DC when I was growing up. So like we didn't have Walmart. Like they put Walmart in DC, which I still think is weird, but we didn't have Walmart. I think we got a Target when I was in high school. Like we didn't have any of that. So if you went outside of DC, if you went like if somebody had a car or some of it was metro accessible and you went like to Maryland or Virginia, they had some of that stuff. But we didn't have any of those stores in the city at all. Like, so I remember my first time having Panera Bread as an adult, as like very much an adult, because we didn't have it. And somebody brought bagels in and they were like, everybody's like, oh my God, Panera Bread. And I was like, what is this sorcery? Oh my God, it's delicious. And I was like, oh, we don't have that. Which is also why I often wonder why like people want to move here because I'm like, DC is the smallest town masquerading as a big city. Like there up until about 15 years ago, there was absolutely nothing here. I'm like, what?
I think people just like hear like, oh, it's DC. It's like the center of the country, like, you know, government wise, like obviously not center, geography wise. And
Right.
you know, they just make assumptions and it's like you don't research the place you're moving to.
And it's because DC is a very weird place because it's only what about 7 miles total? It's pretty small. Um, but it's DC proper. I mean, the surrounding area, the DMV is big. It's very big, but DC itself is really tiny. And we don't have a lot of stuff. And we have a very interesting culture. So people move here, and I think they're very shocked at what they get when they get here. And also, rent prices are way too high for what we have. So people come here with their like $5,000 a month rent, and they're like, "This is it." And it's like,
oh
yeah,
my God,
well,
you named a number that's higher than my rent. What?
Yeah.
The only thing equivalently more disturbing than New York rent prices are DC rent prices. Y'all are insane. That shit sounds like the ghetto. I can't do that.
Insane here.
Highway robbery.
Ghetto, I mean, so expensive for so little. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But for $5,000, you know what I could get for $5,000 a month here? I could buy a damn house. That house would have 8 bedrooms for $5,000 a month.
I'd be
Really?
worried a serial killer was hiding in every single one. Anyway, we're gonna start the sprint because I need to walk Riley. 3, 2, 1. I can talk about my aversion to houses when we come back.
That was my
Hello,
first.
hello. I know.
Was that our second or our third or our fourth?
That was our third.
Okay.
I walked Riley and she did everything, so we're good.
Good. I've got one page down and one to go.
That was really fast. And this is me with half a face of makeup. I thought I had a few more minutes, but it's okay.
So pretty.
Thank you. So I don't know that yet because I had to take my glasses off to do it. So I was like, we'll see.
You look nice.
Okay. Okay.
Have a good nap, Regina.
Bye, Regina.
Yes. Enjoy your nap.
Yeah, so this was everyone laughing at me about the house thing. But I just, growing up, aside from visiting my grandma, even her house was too big, in my opinion, because I was like, what's happening in the basement? We don't know. What if there's like, and then my mom used to watch true crime all the time. And then we would watch like Law and Order SVU together. And I was just like, no. I don't like it. So, and we had, my uncles had houses too big. And I'm like, if I can't see everything, and thankfully, like, my hearing is good enough that I can hear what's happening in every room in my mom's apartment. And my apartment is the living room, the kitchen, and the bedroom. And that's it. And I can hear, like, through the walls. And so for me, if there's, like, something could be happening and I might not be able to hear it, I'm like, ugh.
The thought of hearing everything that happens in my home makes me want to vomit. I would never want to hear my parents banging or like, to be honest, I need enough space in my home where if my child is blasting Bluey and banging on pots and pans in the living room.
Oh no, I mean, my mom's apartment has enough space for that. My hearing is just freakishly good. So I always have to remind my mom, I'm like, Mom, if you're on a phone call, close the door. Otherwise I can hear every single word.
That's crazy. Yeah. No, I need more space than that.
Most people do, but my mom and I are like so apartment people that like even the idea of like a 2-floor apartment, which we would, first of all, like way too expensive, and even if we could, neither my mom and I would want to because of our neuroses. Like no, we want it all on one floor.
Zara, do you mind me asking how much your rent is? You don't have to answer that.
It's multiple of 100 less than Portia's 5,000 number that she gave as an example earlier, but it's not that much cheaper.
I'm gonna say it's probably between 3,000 and 4,000, right?
It was.
Was God. So
it went up this year.
Between 3,000 and 4,000 here, you could have 2 homes with $2,300 mortgages. And those $2,300 mortgages that's a 4 to 5 bedroom home. So you could, outside of New York City, own 2 full homes in the same neighborhood with 4 to 5 bedrooms each. They've got yards. One of them probably has a pool.
You underestimate how much I like the outside. A yard means nothing to me.
I'm not telling you to do it. Clearly it's gonna get your isms in a tizzy. So don't do it. But I need you to know how much space you could have.
But in Sarah's defense, and okay, I'm saying this as a person who grew up in apartments and did not live in a house until I was an adult. People that are used to apartments are just fine in apartments. Like I had to psych myself out to move into a house because I'd never lived in a single family home because my parents have a townhouse, which is enough of a difference in and of itself, but it's like you're still
Yeah.
relatively close to your neighbors and it's a
Yeah.
house, but it's not as big of an adjustment. Moving to a single family home with yard space, I have a front and a backyard in my house and a basement that still terrifies me. And I've lived in that house for years.
A
And
basement
I
is
don't
always
go in
terrifying.
my own basement because we have you can go out through the basement. And my theory is if I can go out, something can get in. No.
That's my theory as well. But my grandma's basement, you couldn't get it through. You couldn't get in through there. It was literally below the garage.
Right. And that's how my parents' basement is. Well, they don't have a garage, but their basement is closed off. Like
Well,
there's
they don't
no
have like
entry or exit.
yeah, my grandma didn't like have a huge garage. It was like you could park the car and you have to like make yourself really thin to get around the car to get in the door.
My mom's current house in Georgia is a waterside property. It's got a huge fenced-in backyard. It's got 3 levels. It's got a 2-car garage. It's got office space and 5 bedrooms. The master is massive. It's got, the soaking tub and the fancy shower and all the storage space you could possibly need. And it is still the mortgage is still less than $2,000 a month.
No, I mean, I cry at the price tag all the time. But
I bet you do. I bet you do. I'm just saying I could never live in New York City.
Space-wise for me, like Portia was saying, like if you've grown up in apartments, you're used to it. Like honestly, for me, I have too much stuff. I know I have too much stuff. It's just because like I don't get rid of things because I forget that I have them. Right? It's not. There are people who like I always need to keep stuff because what if I need it? I have it sometimes, but most of the time I'm like, oh, that's where that is. Yeah, I would have thrown that out 3 years ago had I known I even still had it. Like, yes, I don't need this. But when I was moving into my apartment, I was thinking cost, I'm going to be paying for it. I don't need a lot of space. I don't even have a queen size bed in my home. I have a full bed. I was like, why not? Like, why don't you want a queen? And I'm like, because I don't want to pay for that. And I'm fine. And it's my bed. Like, like here I have a queen and it's great. But like, I'm very happy in my bed at my home. And I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, I'll get like just like a 1-room apartment. She's like, no, you're going to hate that. And I was like, I would be okay with that. She's like, okay, you might be. I'm not okay with that for you. So she then talked me into getting a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm like,
I to talk you into a studio or out of a studio.
My mom had to talk me out of a studio. She's like, you would hate that. And I was like, I think you underestimate how much I live my life in like a very small square footage. And she's like, well, that's not healthy. And I'm like, well, I'd want a kitchen. So I'd be walking to that. Like, it's not, it's not that I want the stove in my living room, but I don't need like a separate bedroom. And she's like, just get it. You'll thank me later.
I loved my studio apartment. My first apartment was a studio, and I loved my studio apartment because the thing is, even though rent in DC is very expensive, when your apartment is really small, your utilities are very low. So even though rent is high, it's like heating and cooling were basically nothing. You're not paying very much. Like in DC, unless you're a homeowner, you don't pay for your own water. Like that's included with your rent and stuff. So you don't really have
is included in my rent except my electricity.
Yeah. So your rent is high, but you don't have anything utility wise very much. It's very negligible. And then if you get like cable or your subscription services or whatever, but your bills are lower in DC in an apartment because you don't have to pay all the extra. So when we moved into our house,
all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, there's the electric bill, the water bill, the XYZ
we're in we're in a 3-bedroom house, rent a rancher, a 3-bedroom house, front yard and backyard. It's not a huge house, but I grew up in an apartment. So to me, this is like a lot of living area and a lot of things you don't have to worry about in apartments because in apartments, you have your either landlord or you have like the company that, oh, that your
Who are
apartment that
essentially
does
your
your maintenance.
landlords, but it's just
Right.
the
So you
company.
call maintenance when
Yeah.
something breaks. So the second winter in our
Or I
house,
call maintenance if I see a cockroach, and I'm like, I'm not
exactly.
feeling that.
I am a call maintenance girl. And then we moved into our house,
And
and
that's no longer an option.
my
You are
husband is like, you
maintenance.
don't understand. We are maintenance. Like, this is our house. Like, if something happens, we have to fix it. And by we, I mean him, because I'm out of my depth. But like, so our second year
I
in the
can fix a
house,
lot of things, but if it's a bug, no, it's not me.
but like our water heater went out, right?
Oof.
And you kind of need one of those. So the water
I
heater
went out
goes out.
for my cousins a few years ago, and they had to replace it, and it was such a pain in the ass. So I'm so
It
sorry you had to
is
deal with that.
horrible. It is horrible. Like, and it is so expensive. And so we're just like, so then when that happens, and I was just like, still apartment mind. I was like, we should call someone. He's like, yeah, we call the company and they come out and replace it and we pay them for the new one. And I was like, oh God, that's supremely unfair because when you live in an apartment and something that you just call somebody and they fix it and like your rent doesn't go up because your rent is already high. It's like your rent doesn't go up. They fix it and then it's fixed. So I'm still getting used to every time something happens in my house I have to pay for it and I hate it so much.
I mean, I hate that, but I think I would prefer to not have the neuroses that I have, and then that be my only objection to like a house. Whereas, like, I know I'm being unrealistic, but I'm also not being a completely unrealistic person because otherwise there would be no true crime documentaries of like in this town, this is what happened. I'd be like, see, there are sickos.
There are the one. Did you see the one where people? I don't remember. Was it? I don't remember the name of it. But where people were living in people's attics. People
Yes.
were living in the attic space.
Yes.
So I saw this. I don't remember where it was, but I saw it, and so I said, Edward, you have to make sure nobody's in our attic. And he was like, I beg your pardon. You have to make sure nobody's living in our attic. And he's like, I'm pretty sure nobody is like, go. And I'm like, go up there. So his walk-in closet, like you can put a ladder up and you're in the attic. And he's like, no, it's nobody up here. And I was like, okay.
My grandma's attic was so small that like most of the adults in my life, once I was old enough to be like, what's in there? They were, because most of my family are boomers, because my mom adopted me when she was older. Totally fine, whatever, I don't care. Most of them were like, yeah, we don't want to bend down in order to get into the attic. So no one could be living in my grandma's attic. Like it was big enough to like have boxes that you shoved in there, but like there was not space. So I actually didn't have that fear there.
Okay.
But I was like even scared that like someone could get into my like grandma's garage and then get into the house or like have done that and then been hiding out in the basement, even though there wasn't a lot there in the basement. And once like I was old enough to go down with my older cousins to the basement to play pool, mostly I made sure they weren't cheating because they would and then be like, I didn't cheat. And I'd be like, yeah, you did. I was referee. The basement started scaring me less, but the idea of like anything else, I'm like, nope, I'm okay with my grandma's house, which got demolished after she passed away. I'm like, I don't think that I was ever totally okay with any other house. Like my uncle moved out of the town because he lived in the same town as where my grandma lived for basically the whole time. Like I knew him until maybe like 5-6 years ago. I might be wrong. Time is like wacky thanks to the pandemic. But like I'm still not cool in his basement in his new house. I'm like, And I didn't like his basement in his old house. Like, it's like, there's too much. I don't like it.
I'm not cool with my own basement. That's the funny part. Like, somebody else's is like, that's completely reasonable. Like,
because you're like, that's not mine. I don't have to deal with the serial killer.
right. I'm not okay because my parents' basement, I mean, I'm not a lover of basements in general, but there's no way in and no way out. It's, so that doesn't bother me as much. We have an exit out off of the basement and we keep it's like chained shut, like, so nothing can get in or out. But I was like, I'm less worried about a human because they would like just starve and die down there. We would just find the corpse. But I was like, I'm worried about animals.
I prefer animals over a human because I'm worried the human would do something to me, whereas the animals would be like, we want food, and I would probably I'd be like, Googling, like, who do I call if there are wild animals in my home?
Fair.
Who do you call?
Ghostbusters.
I feel like if there was a person in my basement, I feel like I know who that is, and I feel like it's our neighbor's son. One set of our next door neighbor's adult son never moved out. He's like almost 50 and he never moved out. And he is a very interesting
like a serial
person.
Killer in the making, or a serial killer that hasn't been discovered yet, or is he just
I don't have a word for it. He's a very interesting individual. So I feel like if somebody gets into the basement of our house, it's probably their son who actually lives in their basement that they've turned into an apartment for him. But he's always given me creeper vibes. And well, he used to be married. He moved his ex-wife into the basement with him. And she was also very sketchy. Yeah, she's the one that I don't think I told this. I don't think that was your stream when I said that our neighbor's son's ex-wife got high and came into our yard when we were out with a fire pit, and she was like sat on the ground because we were like, oh, we don't have any more lawn chairs left, thinking that's gonna like dissuade her. And she like sat on the ground in the middle of our yard with sunglasses on at like 10 o'clock at night and was like, what do you think of God? Like, she was like high out of her mind. And we were like,
I think God would want you to go back to your home.
I fell into a rabbit hole of VA loans and on my phone, and I just came back to the conversation with Portia saying, what do you think of God?
Oh no,
we didn't ask that. Her neighbor's son's high ex-wife did. In Portia's front yard, backyard, one of them.
Backyard, which is worse because our backyard is very heavily, well, the whole area is a lot of trees, but it's like a wooded area back there.
In order to get in.
So she like comes from like the clearing and sits in the yard with like these sunglasses on at 10:30 at night, and she's just like, so what do you think of God? And I was just like, ma'am, please, like,
you want me to go home to your husband and leave me in peace.
Facts.
But she's the same one that was having an affair with somebody else that lived in the same gated community, and we're thinking, well, she's arguing with somebody on the phone, but it's like, we're in a gated community, so the odds of him coming and then not realizing she was cheating with somebody in the gated community, and then we hear a car pull up and we're just like,
I'm not gonna lie, go home to your husband and what did you say, Zara? Go home to your husband and what?
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone could apply to so many military spouses. I related to that on an existential level.
Yeah, the way you reacted, I was like, oh, I think I said something.
No, that was deep, Zara. That was deep.
My mom is so funny because she's like, you don't know your neighbors. You didn't know your dorm, like fellow dorm building people. I'm like, Mom, we treat every place as an apartment where it's our own little city and we are doing our own business and we say hi to each other as we're walking in. We're not jerks. We hold the door open for each other. And that's basically it. We don't, like the people who have lived in my building for many years, yes, they know each other. And yes, I know like the maintenance people in my building by name, but like, I don't know the people on my floor. I know the dogs on my floor because that's the important stuff.
You're hilarious.
And I know who has kids because I can hear them playing piano. Not well. You know, at different times. But, like, I don't know who you are.
Well, that reminds me. I need to change out the batteries in my kids' piano.
Change them out or just remove them altogether so they can't play?
Change them out. They died. I have to give her new ones. She played it she got it for Christmas, but she's played it so much in the past 2 months, they died last week.
I mean, good for her. I'm sorry for your eardrums if it's not great, you know.
Thank you. Thank you for your apology. No, a 2-year-old is actually, in fact, incapable of playing a keyboard well.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I have gotten kids toys that make sound with the blessing of the parents, and every time I'm like, do you understand what you're doing? Because the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it's a highly rated toy and I think it could be fun, and I know as a kid I would have enjoyed it, but I can't imagine my mom would have enjoyed me having this.
I'm not gonna lie, some days are deeply full of regret, and then I think, no, learning the keyboard would be good for her. Knowing
Hand-eye coordination,
literacy, it could get her scholarships. Just like thinking down the road, you have to remind yourself sometimes.
Yeah,
down the road.
Yeah, no, I didn't practice piano enough. But the thing is that when I was playing piano, I never hit wrong keys. I just wasn't great at like sight reading like my mom was, so it would be very staccato. And then I'd have to play the same thing over and over again until it sounded less staccato to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. But my problem is I would then memorize the song. Yeah, I could play that easily. And then it would be like, okay, great. Let's move on to something else. I'd be like, I am back to square one. Whereas my mom is like, we could sight read anything.
That's a skill. Sight reading is.
She can also read anything in Hebrew, but does she know what she's saying? No.
I love that for her.
Like one day someone's gonna make you read something really profane.
That sounds like I can read anything in Spanish, but I have no clue what's going out of my mouth.
Yeah. Whereas everything I read or say in French, I know what I'm saying and understanding, but my scope is not big enough. So I need to get back to that. But at least I know I'm not going to accidentally say I'm very pregnant instead of I'm very full, like my cousin once did while she was in France at a nunnery. She was like, I'm pregnant in French. And then the nurse, the nun, not nurse, wrong NU word, was like, excuse me? And she's like, I'm very, very pregnant. Not understanding that she was mixing up the words.
I've definitely done that in Spanish so many times with my in-laws. They just pity me at this point.
Someone on, like, before New Year's online was like, just a reminder that this phrase means Happy New Year. This one means happiness.
Oh, no.
It's just like, I mean, that's much funnier than accidentally calling your mom a horse in Chinese.
When I was at one of my Spanish classes in college was actually pretty funny because we were, oh gosh, I don't remember which level of Spanish, but one of my classmates was trying to say something about ordering food, right? And the teacher was like, this is why we have to work on pronunciation, because he was like, I get what you were trying to say. You were trying to order a very specific type of salad. You somehow offered a very specific type of sexual activity that I don't think you're up for.
Pronunciation is so important.
So he's like, don't say that at a restaurant. He's like, somebody may take you up on it. He's like, but I get what you were going for.
Someone may take you up on it.
In the middle of a restaurant.
I'm
Yeah, sure. If you're down for it, I'm down for it.
I'm
More than just salads, serving the dick. Good God, Portia.
I know.
You're like, it wasn't me. Omniscient narrator. It was, in fact, Portia.
It was not. I get these are usually me, but it was actually not me. And the fact that we're students, so we didn't catch what was wrong with the sentence. So we were just like, oh, yeah. And he's like, no.
He's like, I'm going to stop you right there before you make a fool of yourself in the greater world.
Yeah. Absolutely not. And we're like, oh, no.
I had elementary school, middle school, and high school, and college, all of my classmates in French were always like, why do we have to speak in French? I'm like, I don't know, because it's French class, which is why my speaking ability is shit, but my comprehension is amazing. So I can understand a French movie better than I have any right to, because I can't say I can't say more than maybe 20% of the stuff they're saying. But I could also read Frantz Fanon in French and, and like Les Mis in French.
With my in-laws, we have this thing because my in-laws can understand English, but they can't speak English. And I can understand Spanish, but I can't speak Spanish. So I speak English at them and they speak Spanish at me. And we'll have full conversations.
Hey, you know what? You do what works, but I've never been in a situation where my ability to understand French but not communicate in French has been okay.
No, French aren't that nice.
Although they do all love my accent. So you know what? I take that as a win, because the French will be like, no. Stop.
Exactly.
They'll just talk to you in English if they hate your accent. And when I was in China, I was able to, say the touristy things in perfect Chinese. And then they'd start talking to me in Chinese. Way better than I knew. And I was like, when I knew the sentence, I don't speak that much Chinese, would also say it in perfect Chinese. And they'd look at me and be like, no, and then continue. They would just continue until I then would have to switch to English and be like, no, I'm serious.
Please help.
I'm like, I'm not being modest. I'm not being shy. I'm being honest.
I learned Japanese and Spanish at the same time. So every time I speak Spanish, it's with a Japanese accent. And it's not great.
I'm sorry. That's amazing.
It's not. My in-laws crack up every time I try. They get so racist about it. It's not funny, but it is funny.
It's like, if you don't laugh, you might cry.
Yeah.
My cousin, the one who made that mistake with the nuns, she then became fluent in French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian.
Wow, polyglot.
And I had a Canadian French teacher, an Algerian French teacher, an American French teacher, and guess what? None of them shared in common: an accent.
Oof.
And none of them had a French accent. And my cousin was like, no. If you ever go to France and you speak like any of them, you'll be laughed out of there. This is how you pronounce stuff. And then my teachers didn't correct me because they understood what was happening. So that's how I have like a good French accent, despite never being taught consistently.
Yeah, my in-laws, they don't have that much patience. And by they don't have that much patience, I mean, they're such patient people. But man, if they're not going to absolutely trash you before they teach you something.
Yeah, no. I mean, because everyone used to say like, oh, just like do an immersion thing. And I was like, I don't want to like be stuck knowing I can't communicate. Like, I know it forces you to learn a language better, but I was like, I would have a breakdown.
Oof.
And I didn't want to put myself in that position.
Last sprint?
Yes. Nia, I hope that was enough house beef for you.
We've been streaming for 3 hours. This is crazy.
I know. I knew it would happen though. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I gotta go feed Riley, I'm pretty sure. I am making Riley dinner, and so I'm going to let you two talk while I'm finishing that up.
I am just now downloading my completed essay and trying to get the formatting right on this reference page, which is not great. But to be honest, if he marks me off for formatting on the reference page, I'm going to have a word with someone higher than him.
Fair.
Especially considering that he might be opening it in a different word processor than what I might be using. So there's that. How are you? What did you accomplish today?
I am good and super fit. Let's see. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. Turn the light up because due to circumstances beyond my control, and those circumstances are ADHD, it took me the entire stream to get my makeup done. But my makeup is done, so I'll just do a reel or something because it took me 3 hours to do a full face of makeup. Well, not 3 hours straight. So, because of that, I'm going to go and do a stream or something, or a reel after this. But I am working on collage cards because everybody that ordered my book in January and everybody that orders in February gets a collage card. These are just backgrounds. They will be really cute and embellished and more than this. But I am working on a bunch of collage cards. So if people order the book, they will get a collage card in the order for February. Thank you, Nia. I haven't seen you in so long. I hope you've been good. I've got to get over on Twitch more often to your stream. So that is what I am doing. And I've decided that today's prompt from Dinez, I'm going to do a speculative poem. So I'm going to do that after we get off because, well, that's going to take a little more brave. I shouldn't say that, a little more brave. It's just different than my usual style of poem. So I'm going to do a speculative poem because we are talking about children today, in good ways. You know, what would you want to instill in generations after you? So I'm going to do the speculative thing. So I'm doing mine in the form of a graduation speech to a class of young quantum leap pilots. So that's gonna take some time. So I'm gonna need more than a 25-minute sprint to jot that down.
Writing a little note here to the professor. And hopefully he doesn't think that that's too spicy.
Oh, sorry about that.
I basically said, you should find that the references made for this paper are more in line with expectations. And I'm sorry for the indentation issues on the references page. Hopefully you don't mark that off for me. Great. Now I have to write my world mythology paper. And once that is done, I can go back to writing.
Well, yay.
Big yays. And world mythology is the one that I was looking forward to. So that shouldn't be too bad. I get to write about Perseus and Medusa, and part of the final paper is coming up with, like, you have like a couple different options, but the option that I'm going to choose is a 2 to 3 page short story, like retelling it.
Okay, nice.
So I'm going to retell the meeting of Perseus and Andromeda. And it's going to have so much banter, and they're going to be so cute.
I love that. I love that.
She's going to be like, no, please let the monster eat me. I would rather be eaten by a monster than have to marry you or my bougie uncle. And he's going to be like, okay, fine, I'll let the monster eat you. And she'll be like, okay, fine, let the monster eat me. And then he's going to be like, no, I can't help it. Like, I'm not going to let the monster eat you.
Right.
But you do have to marry me instead of your creepy uncle. And she's going to be like, I don't want to marry either of you. Just let the monster eat me. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great.
I cannot wait to write the banter. It's going to be so much fun.
That sounds fun.
The paper is going to bore me to tears, but the creative writing part is going to be so much fun. Gotta love the creative writing part of your creative writing degree, right?
You really do. And I wish that had been a thing when I was in undergrad. I mean, it was a thing. Let me rephrase. A thing at my university. I don't believe that we had creative writing classes, but I don't think they had a creative writing degree at my. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't, because I'm sure I asked about it, because the way that I vacillated between journalism and English and ended up with a degree in journalism, because, well, I mean, I knew it was not the same thing, because a lot of people would be like, but isn't that the same thing? And I would be like, no. And people are like, not at all. And people are like, well, but it's all writing. And I was like, yes. And they're just like,
they're so different.
It's very different. People, because I did take a lot of English classes in my journalism degree, but I was like, lots of differences here. And I was like, and how you feel on the Oxford comma probably will determine which camp you should be in. If you love the Oxford comma, then I was like, save yourself the heartache and do English. If you think, just make your sentence shorter if you need one, do journalism, because we are counting characters. And because I did print journalism, so of course, we'd had online. I was the editor of my online paper too, but that's back when you had column inches and stuff, and like 250 words meant 250 words, because that's all we had space for. So you could not wax poetic in journalism, because it was like everything had a certain amount of space. It was allotted for an article. So when people were like, what's the difference? And I was just like, how much do you want to talk?
Right. No, at SNU, they have journalism as a degree. And then separate from that, they have creative writing. And in their creative writing degree, they allow you 4 different focus areas. So you can either do fiction, screenplay, nonfiction, or I'm blanking on this last one. I'm totally blanking on this last one. But there's like at least the 3. So I'm going to do a double concentration on fiction and screenplay.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then in the creative writing master's program, they allow you to do a concentration as well. So
okay, that's really nice. That's
when
really
I end up liking more fiction or screenplay, and then that'll be the concentration of my master's.
Okay. We definitely need more screenwriters. We definitely need more screenwriters. Because it's like everything is a remake these days. Everything, not even a remake, everything is a reboot. Because I'm like, I can get with a really well done retelling. I can get with that part. Everything is a reboot. And I was just like, don't do a 4th reboot of a reboot. Somebody write a new story. Somebody, please.
Right.
I'm dying over here. Like, take a book from Inimitable Books, make it into a movie. The books are very original, very well written. Take one of those books and make it into a movie. Yes.
I do love it.
It would be so good. Riley, you already ate. I gave you everything. She's like, but I want more.
Aw, she is coming at you for food. She said, Mama, feed me. Mama, I starve. Mama, why do you starve me?
Mama, I hungry.
I'm hungry.
Okay, so let's remind people who we are and then log off. Thank you for holding down the fort while I took care of Her Highness.
Go ahead. You're first in the alphabet.
Gwenna at Gwenna the Winner. You can find me all over the Oh, I'm sorry. There was a delay there.
Uh,
I'm Gwenna at Gwenna the Winner all over the internet. You can find me predominantly on YouTube and sometimes TikTok. I like to stream writing sprints and productivity sprints with my friends, my lovely people here. I'm an aspiring hybrid author and current college student in a creative writing program. On over to you, Portia.
I am Portia. I am the author of Low Bridge High Water. I am purveyor of cat ears, chaos, and the words in between. And you can check me out at bio.site Portia Writes and PortiaWrites.com. I am working on it, so the information is not nearly as old as it was. So
Yay.
swing by and look at my new bio and things that is there. And I have had fun streaming as always. You will see me a couple more times this month.
Yay.
Yay.
And my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the founder of Inimitable Books, a small publishing company dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices without pigeonholing authors into writing about their trauma. I'm also a dog mom to this princess, who unfortunately knows it. And we are having our first release of 2026 on February 17th. It is Grandma's Little Secret, inspired by true events, by Becca C. Smith. One girl's life is changed forever when she foils a murder and becomes a target herself. I love it so much. It would be such a good movie or TV show. So if anyone's watching, read it. The blurb from another author says, Becca C. Smith pulls you in and dares you to let go before the last page is turned. And so really, really awesome. And then we have 2 other thrillers coming out, one on March 31st and one on April 21st. If the current news cycle really upsets you, you should read both of those books because bad people actually get their comeuppance. So those titles are Mother Mercy by Chandra Arthur, Female Dexter Vibes, Nuff Said, and Thanks for Watching by Kate Kavanaugh. And then there were none with social media influencers or the movie Glass Onion, but like it goes further. And yeah, check those out. You should go to inimitablebooks.com and our calendar to see when we will be live streaming for more productivity sprints like this here on YouTube and also on Twitch. But also we have authors who are going to be having events at Barnes & Noble in New York City. And I'm so excited, and some other bookstores as well. So please check that out. And if you are planning to be in the New York area, consider coming to any or all of those events. Would be happy to have you. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back with another stream tomorrow.
Casey, I needed you when I was talking about DC and carry-out culture. You should have been here. Salt, pepper, ketchup, mumbo sauce.
I will be back on for more productivity and writing sprints tomorrow. That will be over on Twitch. Riley should be present, but I will be at my apartment tomorrow. So hopefully you'll be with me as well. So again, thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.
Bye.